Dementia residents are deprived of spiritual practice, of the maintenance of spiritual practice, because they don't go to church. And there's a number of reasons for this. Firstly, mobility issues. Secondly, access issues. Thirdly, the availability of someone being able to take them to church. And fourth, a culture of dismissal and it not being considered important. Now, dementia residents, Christians, elderly, of this generation, many went to church each week, and they're often calling out, when can we go to church? We want to go to church. We've been to church every Sunday throughout our whole life, so why aren't we going now? So this really needs to be addressed in some way, because it's really extremely distressing for dementia residents who are Christians and who want to go to church. Now, for the Catholics, it's a different story. They may get Holy Communion, where the priest or the lay priest comes for a few minutes and does that with them, the service with them, just a small, token of time. It's not a full service. I'm sorry, I don't exactly know the details of this because I haven't been there when the Catholics have had their Holy Communion, but I do know that the lay priests come in and give some sort of communion with the resident, just for a few minutes. But other than that, there's no service available for the Christian community at large. So the reason why, in terms of where I was working, is that the church service was on a Wednesday, and staff were able to take a few residents over initially, but then that was cut back as everything became busier in the unit. And with relatives working in the week, it's difficult to take them over on a Wednesday. And on a Sunday, seemingly everyone is busy, and maybe it is difficult to take a dementia resident to church unless they're, able, they're a good walker, and they'll be able to concentrate for that period of time. But something needs to be put in place to be able to satisfy, to be able to satisfy their spirituality, or so they have a chance of being able to have that quiet time and reflect. So really, what it boils down to at the moment in terms of services available, and the best way to go around this is to set up the room of the dementia resident, your mother, father, relative, as a sanctuary, as their place, as their spot where they can be silent and spiritual and practice their faith. Because really that's the only place at the moment that they can do that. And it is possible. I have noted with some relatives in the dementia unit where I worked, one or two relatives who were Catholics, they put up Mother Mary, a nice big solid statue of Mother Mary at the end of the bed of their mother, so she could reflect on that. And also the same woman, she had a lovely big picture of Jesus Christ, which this woman could also view from her bed or her lounge chair. So it was glass framed, gilded frame, beautifully set up. So she had Mother Mary, Jesus Christ, and often the family used to bring in fresh flowers, and they'd put the fresh flowers by Mother Mary. And she had a lovely room. It was a beautiful atmosphere, actually, her room. And she was a calm woman. She was a lovely, calm woman, because of her faith, I think, enabled her to keep that stability within the turmoil often of the dementia unit. And her family were all calm people. And whenever they visited, which they did a lot, and they also joined in the activities, their presence and their spiritual calm really helped the other residents. So setting up the rooms such as this helps a lot. She had a room which was north facing and sunny, which helps a lot for warmth and atmosphere, and she also looked out on the garden. So because of that, she was able to, and the family was able to set up an atmosphere for her, which was spiritual, calming and peaceful. Now, in contrast, on the other side of the corridor, there was also another woman, lovely woman, who was also Catholic and had a strong belief, but her family had not set up the room in this way. Firstly, it was cold and damp. It wasn't north facing. no view, and no picture of Jesus or Mother Mary. There was nothing spiritual in the room to remind the mother of her faith or to reflect on. So she didn't have the ability to be peaceful with her faith as this other woman did, and used to get a lot more disturbed as a result. And sundowners, you know, in the afternoon, she used to get very stressed and was unable to harness her emotions and used to get highly anxious. So in that way, as relatives, we can help our parent a lot by setting up the room in a lovely, calming, spiritual way. And whatever the faith, it's not, you know, if it's Buddhism or it's the Muslim religion, and the same principle applies to have a picture of Buddha or some symbol of the Muslim religion, whatever it is that your mother, your parent has prayed to or meditated to, that symbol, that feature, just keep it as it was at home. What she used to pray on at home and how she used to like it at home for her prayer, meditation and faith, bringing that to the dementia unit into her room and set it up as close as possible to home. Really, that's the secret, as close as possible to home. Everything around her to support that. And then it's not so much of a huge transition or a wrench, really. It's like everything's concentrated into the one little room. And if it can set up, you know, feng shui style so that it's not crowded or cramped, but everything's there that she needs for her solace, then she will be so much better off, or he will be so much better off to be able to continue his spiritual practice, which will give him that calm, or her that calm and peace to be able to live in a dementia unit, as you know, as they're destined to do for the rest of their days. So it's important that they're set up in a way that they can be, you know, encouraged, supported and settled. So I've written about all this in the 2 books. I've written The Resident's Voice from a Dementia Unit and The Resident's Rise from a Dementia Unit, both on Amazon, ebook now, selling well and popular, and my website, pietavalentine.com, description below. So everything's there, and there's a lot on that website as well. Interviews, radio interviews, Australia and America, how I came about doing this work. It's a long history to that, and other extracts, features, photos, things you might be interested in. So thank you for your subscriptions and likes. Please subscribe, pass on the links. Thank you.